In this video, let's shortly go over this available to promise inventory. So the idea behind this is if somebody, a customer, shows up and one of our sales staff says, yes, I can have you our product by the end of the week, are they actually making a real promise? In other words, what can they promise? What's available for them? And so in equation 2 of my notes, and again in example 1 of the textbook, we go through this available to promise, and let's just start out in time period 1. Let's see, in time period 1, I can get this available to promise in what way? Well, let's see, I can go back and look at the inventory from the prior period. I can add to that the production from this period, and then I can subtract. Now this summation notation might be a little odd, and it's a little odd because of the indexing. The indexing says start I, the bottom index, in the current time period. Well, we're in time period 1. And then run that through to the next time period where there's production. Well, there's production in time period 2. And so 2 minus 1 is back to time period 1, and it says we'll get the customer orders from that time period. So I have 20 units that could be promised to somebody else if needs be. Okay, so let's go looking in the second period. Now, in the second period, we don't use equation 2, we use equation 3, where what we do is we look at the what was created during time period T, and we subtract from that this same odd summation. But let's go through the work. So here's what I need. I need this MPS, and I'm going to subtract from it this summation. Well, we're in time period 2, so the bottom index starts at 2. K runs out to the next time period where production actually occurs. Well, it occurs in time period 3. Oh, okay, so 3, we're back to 2, and we're back to just subtracting these customer orders. I have 35 units that I could promise to somebody else. And we could redo that in this time period. We can look at the production that occurs in this time period minus customer orders. Okay, customer orders, let's see, there's production in this time period. I need to roll out though to the next time period when there is production. Oh, wait a minute, this is our first time when that odd sum actually means something. So I can go production, the next time period there isn't any, but then the next time period there is. Okay, so I back up a period. That's what the K minus 1 says to do. And I add up the customer orders for those 2 periods. And I do still have this 32 items that I could promise to other people. And I just continue. You know, do I have any of this? No, I don't. Let's see, customer orders. Well, customer orders are 18 this time period, but there's production next time period. So again, that odd indexing, the K minus 1 says really all I'm interested in is customer orders here. So what does that mean? I can't promise negative. So maybe I should have made that an if statement, because if this comes up negative, that means I can't make any promises. And a 0 looks better than a negative 18. So let's do this. If this comes up negative, then put in a 0. Otherwise, put in this minus this. And so I can promise nothing. Now, what about the rest of this? Well, the next steps are all fairly easy because I don't have any customer orders in time periods 5 through 8. So my equation really reduces to, well, let's see, this is equal to this. Now there's no customer orders to subtract off. Again, in this time period 6, I don't have any customer orders yet, so I don't really have a summation yet, and I could just copy this down. Okay. So hopefully that gives you at least some idea of how we can tell the sales staff what is available that they can promise to customers, and in which week. So I get to week 4, and given our current production schedule, my sales staff can say, look, I can get it to you by week 5, but I can't get it to you in week 4. Or we've got to go back and revise our plan, which is really not a possibility, especially if we're in week 3. So hopefully this helps. Again, this is the available to promise inventory. Thanks.